Hello, my name is Nick, and welcome to Wart Productions. So today, we're doing something different. I'm starting a new series on this channel discussing what, in my opinion, are perfect episodes of television. These are X Factor episodes to me, ones that elevate a TV show above the norm, that stand head and shoulders above every other episode in their respective show. And what better show to start with than the motherfucking GOAT? I struggle to think of a show as loved and cherished by 20-somethings like myself than Avatar: The Last Airbender. Despite many of its sequels being varying levels of disappointment, Avatar is still one of the most talked about and discussed TV shows on the internet, and for a reason. Its blend of some of the greatest fictional characters ever put to screen, immaculate world building, and beautiful animation that has stood the test of time and continues to be one of the most discussed pieces of art on social media. Now I, like every other Gen Zer, grew up on this show, and I have probably watched it more than a dozen times. I could probably make a video about a third of this series. It is so damn good. But there is one episode, that is the dividing point. An episode that takes an admittedly great cartoon and elevates it to generational fiction. An episode that seeks for depth, unlike anything ever seen before on a kid's show or cartoon. That episode being the first episode of the Ba Sing Se arc. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Book 2, Episode 14, A City of Walls and Secrets. Spoilers for Avatar moving forward, but if you haven't seen this masterpiece in the last 20 years, it's time to catch the fuck up. We begin this episode with the iconic cast of Aang, Katara, Sokka, and Toph finally making it to Ba Sing Se after losing Appa and surviving the Si Wong Desert with its homicidal spirit owl, the Winding Serpent Pass, and a giant Fire Nation drill that was sent to puncture the invincible walls of Ba Sing Se. It seems like the worst is behind them, and they have arrived at this world's last bastion of humanity, Ba Sing Se. They enter the walls and we see the vastness of the city as the music swells to a number that rings of safety and sanctuary, punctuated by Sokka. The prevailing theme is that safety has been achieved, and that is immediately flipped on its head by the entrance of Judy. I love how the soundtrack does an almost Jaws-like riff before introducing her to a messy, evil-sounding version of the original Ba Sing Se theme. Sokka immediately stands on business, telling Judy they need to see the Earth King, but he is immediately rebuffed. The feeling of disordinance with Judy is so in your face. Even with Toph being dismissive of all of it, Judy doesn't seem like a human being. She seems programmed for one duty or task and nothing more. They begin the tour of the city, and so begins a sneaky but surprising piece of societal commentary. Judy reveals that Ba Sing Se is separated by walls of its people of different financial castes, which is insane. Like, that's some goddamn Nazi shit. Imagine if Chicago just built a wall around the South Side. That's so incredibly fucked up. Nevertheless, it is one of Avatar's first indications that it is capable of societal commentary much deeper than a show with a TVY7 rating should be, and alludes to the societal and political themes that will soon dominate the next few episodes. After this, we flash to the B-plot, with Iroh and Zuko being stalked by Jet, who knows of Iroh's ability to firebend and is attempting to jail him for it. They don't give our favorite uncle and E-Boy that much to do this episode. The only reason I highlight this is I love this Iroh quote.
Life happens wherever you are, whether you make it or not.
This was actually my senior quote, and I have always resonated with it. Never stop experiencing life because of circumstances that put you somewhere you don't want to be. Life has an interesting way of rewarding those who are grateful and open-minded and continue to constantly chase experiences. Do not never let your location change that. Dog, I live in St. Louis. I have a great time, okay? Figure it out. I love Iroh's many quotes because they say so much by saying so little, and this one will always be my favorite. After this, we continue the tour, and eventually reach Avatar Gang's new home. And the offness is beginning to turn to dread and confusion. No one is listening to our characters, and it feels like they're being purposely sectioned off to not cause any disturbance. And to top this off, they won't be able to see the Earth King for 2 weeks or months, which is even more of a headache. After this, the gang goes to a pet store and university, desperately clutching at straws to get answers, and each time Judy shakes her head no. Everyone feels so scared in the city. The rampancy of fear is at full strength, and everyone feels terrified to speak out against the government and their agent that is Judy standing right in front of them. After this, our neighbor tells us to not trust the Dai Li, which we were told are the cultural protectors of Ba Sing Se. But it is starting to seem like they may be some sort of secret police, which would be absolutely insane to have on a children's show. Like, they wouldn't do that. After this, we are told that there is going to be a massive party for the Earth King's pet bear, Bosco. And I love this joke. It adds to the feeling of dread and weirdness this episode has, but also to Avatar's world building. Katara and Toph get dressed for this party, as Sokka and Aang attempt to sneak in as busboys. It is here where we meet Long Feng, leader of the Dai Li, voiced by the venerable Clancy Brown, one of the greatest voice actors of all time. It isn't mentioned enough how insanely stacked the VA talent of Avatar is. It might be the greatest voice acted show of all time. After Long Feng gets Katara and Toph inside, he refuses to leave their side in search of their made-up parents. After Aang puts on a show, he and the gang are quickly and quietly detained. And this is where we get to the good shit, baby. This scene is nothing short of magic. The dread and confusion finally wash away as Long Feng delivers a deliciously evil monologue on the state of Ba Sing Se and how he controls it and all of the Earth Kingdom. And it is so satisfying. This exposition feels so earned. We, the audience, have been made to yearn, to beg, to plead for answers, and we finally get them. And this would have been good enough. This would have still been an incredible episode. But no, Avatar is exceptional and goes the extra mile. These writers know that if you want the viewers to know the fucked up shit, the extent of the depravity that is wrought throughout all Ba Sing Se, you got to show them. So we see Jet, who was detained earlier, dragged into a cell and get fucking brainwashed by the Dai Li. And if this wasn't good enough, it gets better. This fucking line, it's everything.
There is no war within the walls. Here we are safe. Here we are free.
Oh my fucking god, this line, it drips. No, it is fucking so absolutely goddamn drenched and pouring off hypocrisy and irony. Everything, and I mean everything we have seen in this episode is climaxed to this line. Fucking everything. This is a city of fear and of terror where the state controls all, and it poses bigger questions. Like, at what point does the state's need for safety and security supersedes a citizen's rights and independence? And when that happens, how does a society react to retain its freedom? These are heady questions to be asking from a show on Nickelodeon. Fuck. I need a minute. Dude, Evan. Fuck, I love this show. I fucking love this show, man. It's so good. Oh, I love it. It's the GOAT. Anyways, to break down this delectably deep scene a little bit more, I love the use and emphasis on the word free. Everything that we have seen throughout this episode has shown the lack of freedom that Ba Sing Se has and begs the question of what is more important, security or freedom? Because it seems before the war, in Ba Sing Se, freedom was sacred. But after 100 years of protecting this liberty, the meaning was lost. The Earth Kingdom's relentless need to expand their power to protect their citizens essentially suspended their base-born rights in perpetuity. After taking a breath, I can say this episode poses a deep question and moral quandary of the balance of liberty and safety, and how the superseding of one of these principles will alienate everyone. Which, for a show sandwiched between episodes of Rugrats and SpongeBob, is fucking crazy work. This episode and the arc that follows it are by far and away my favorite examples of expectation subversion. Now, what is expectation subversion? According to NoFilmSchool.com, subverting expectations is a storytelling technique that deliberately leads the readers/audiences towards a more reasonable assumption, and then delivers a completely different outcome that still fits the story's rules. Now, while this seems relatively straightforward, expectation subversion is a tightrope. On one side, there is surprising the audience, and on the other is making your subversion believable within your world's rules. And many stories often fall off this tightrope. Expectation subversion has been used many times to justify some really shitty art. I remember this whole concept made a big comeback when Star Wars The Last Jedi came out. Now, The Last Jedi is fucking terrible, but I guess that it is its own kind of expectation subversion. You were expecting something good and it ends up sucking. But effective expectation subversion is incredible to witness. And this episode of Avatar is easily my favorite. From season 1, we are told that Ba Sing Se is the last refuge of humanity. Nothing short of sanctuary for people escaping the Fire Nation to be safe behind the impenetrable walls of Ba Sing Se. But then you get there and it's a fucking police state. I need to take a minute and say, this will never happen again. We will never witness a police state on Nickelodeon ever again. This is an unbelievably cool, and the way Avatar creates this expectation subversion feels so effortless and natural. And the rest of the Ba Sing Se arc continues this expectation subversion to the point where the Earth Kingdom falls, and it is so unendingly perfect. When I was a kid watching this for the first time, I didn't think I understood it, and I didn't really like it. This episode was nominated for an Emmy, and I never really understood it. But as the years went by and I started to understand its deep political themes, I fell in love with it. And it is now my second favorite episode of this incredible show. It is the dividing point between an admittedly great show and generational fiction. That art that has not and will never be forgotten. Avatar continues to persist through the years because of incredible episodes like this. And at the end of the day, this episode is perfect. This is definitely a series I'm going to continue across all television, and despite having many ideas, I would always appreciate more. Anyways, this is Nick from Wartware Productions. Have a good night.